I want to talk about housing. Un gouvernement axé sur le mieux-être des gens du Nouveau-Brunswick veillerait à ce que tout le monde ait un endroit sûr et abordable à appeler chez soi. The decision has been taken to resuscitate the New Brunswick Housing Corporation to provide the institutional capacity to deliver an adequate supply of affordable housing. And I congratulate the Minister of Housing for ensuring that came about, because, Madam Speaker, without the institutional capacity to deliver affordable housing, it doesn't happen. We've seen that. So now the institutional capacity is being built. We all hope adequately. It's hard to tell whether the budget is sufficient, but we'll get into that estimates, because it does need to have the capacity, once it's up and running, to deliver an adequate supply of affordable housing. So the staffing needs to include subject matter experts, new hires. Is the budget sufficient to do that? It's yet unclear. It needs to ensure adequate financing is available to create the kind of boom in the construction and renovation of affordable housing that we need, of non-market housing, Madam Speaker. Is there sufficient funds there to do that? It's unclear. Details are not clear, and we'll be asking about that. I recently was speaking to a non-profit property developer who's building affordable housing in New Brunswick. He's got units going up in Memramcook and coming in Woodstock. He said one of the most important things the government can do to facilitate construction of affordable apartments, actually, it was a surprise to me, and I hope the Minister of Finance takes this to heart, Minister of Treasury Board, responsible for Treasury Board. He said one of the most important things that government can do to remove barriers to the development of more affordable housing in this province is to institute the capacity to fast-track already approved financing for those construction projects. I was surprised, and that's why it's always so important to talk to the people on the ground. I assumed maybe it was the difficulty in assessing financial support from the provincial government, the federal government, putting that together to make sure that the business case all works to build affordable housing, non-market housing. But no, it was actually a cash flow issue, Madam Speaker, that I know the minister responsible for the Treasury Board has the ability to fix. So, wow. What a great thing to know, and what a great opportunity to remove that barrier, non-budgetary barrier, to accelerating the construction of affordable non-market housing in the province. I can appreciate, Madam Speaker, the difficulties. I mean, if you're burning through cash in the middle of a building project, tens of thousands of dollars a day at some points, and part of the cash you need that was already secured but isn't showing up in a timely manner, becomes a disincentive for nonprofit developers to enter the market. It's important when it comes to housing, Madam Speaker, too, that we have targeted strategies to meet various housing needs, because I know the Minister of Housing likes to talk about the housing continuum, and in a sense that is the right when you break it out. So those with intellectual disabilities need supportive housing, and those in the NGOs, in the community, people who've been working with and trying to and successfully advocating for the kinds of supports those with intellectual disabilities require, have made this point over and over and over again, particularly as parents age and their adult children no longer can count on their parents for support. There needs to be targeted, specific and specialized supportive housing. Take people with mental illness and addictions. Also need specialized supportive housing, Madam Speaker, which we don't have. Seniors need more options, Madam Speaker. I don't know how many times I've heard from seniors that they've been looking in different parts of this province for something else beyond a nursing home or a special care home, that they could continue to maintain some of their autonomy but receive the kind of minimal support that they require. but living with others, Madam Speaker, so they're not in isolation, but are in social situations when they choose. You can think of newcomers, Madam Speaker, with large families, very special housing needs, and students who, of course, need housing and have difficulty finding it in many parts of the province. La Société d'habitation du Nouveau-Brunswick, qui a été relancée a du pain sur la planche. C'est pourquoi elle a besoin de budget pour réaliser son plein potentiel en assurant une offre adéquate de logements abordables qui répond aux besoins de tous et toutes.